Welcome to Catholic University at Cardinal Stadium. We're live in an overcast DC as Old Glory DC finishes off their exhibition season against Ontario Blues. Very exciting day. I'm joined by Bree Kim and Roland Pratt. I am Preston Thompson as we're getting ready for both national anthems. So if you remain quiet and stand at home if you're watching for these national anthems, and we'll hit you with the lineups right afterward.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I am ready for the match. Two beautiful renditions of the Canadian national anthem and the American national anthem. How are y'all feeling today with today's matchup?
This is going to be a big one. This has got to be the game 4 of the exhibition season. You want to leave going into the off-season on a high note, give the fans something to talk about. I definitely think this is one Old Glory have circled as they want to get a W.
Positions that they haven't played in yet. So not only is it going to be entertaining, but it'll be a good test for some of these boys.
It's the culmination of the exhibition season. This is where you want to see all of that hard work pay off. You had that near comeback against Shannon RFC. You had that blowout loss to Scotland, which they still took a lot of lessons from. That was not a throwaway of a match. They grew as a team, and then they had that win last week, as we have our referees here, Gavin McCandless and Jacob Still on the sideline providing support. But you want to see that progress in this match. They beat the USA South Panthers last weekend, but the Ontario Blues, they're a different animal than the Panthers. This is a high-performance team, and we'll get a little bit more into that later as to what that means for Ontario, but this is going to be one of the toughest matchups that Old Glory DC has had. We only have a couple lineup changes for Old Glory, but still a lot of the danger people are the same. Watch out for Mo Katz up front. We've got Jack Escaro from Cal. He's a local product taking the field now, starting in that number 1 jersey. But keep your eye out for Josh Brown as well. We've got Chris Kunkel stepping in at 10. We've got our All-American Darian Pickett coming in at inside center. And always keep your eye on Kinamalafu, the Maui Monster.
Maui Monster. I like it.
You know, people have been calling that, and by people I mean me, as we have a deep kickoff, and it looks like Ontario gobbled up there before they could get a clearing kick. I don't know if that was a miscommunication right there. As they look to get things set, they need to find their bearings. Nate Roberts patrolling and marshalling his forwards. Get some big boys out there. As the Blues want to go wide here in their own territory. They're getting to about their own 22, but they got to be careful. As soon as they get outside there, their kicking options will be limited. And they're going to swing it again.
Looking to play the ball.
Yeah,
Love it.
they're not afraid whatsoever. I guess they really want to test out and see what Old Glory can do. They've got that second line right there. Looks like that's the fullback taking it up, or is that the inside center?
Pretty good defense so far by the Glory boys, though. They've kept them boxed in, and here comes the kick.
And finally we have this clearance kick. I guess they just wanted to waste some time. Probably a wager on when the first kick would come.
Looks like they
Someone
wanted to-
said past the first minute.
Looks like they wanted to gamble a little bit and just see where they could go. I mean, very confident clearly in their handling and playing out the back, and maybe they'll keep doing that the rest of the game.
It was nice to see the Glory wingers, though, close the door there pretty quickly on both sides. So they went right, left, and there was nothing doing. They were forced into making the kick.
Yeah, I guess they were just a little bit gambling earlier to see if they could probe that Glory defense, maybe catch them off guard.
Something cheap.
Yeah, get some garbage points, but hey, take points however you can.
100%.
Mo Katz getting us started with our first line out of the match. going to the back pod. It's stolen, knocked back by Ontario, and we've got a whistle, possibly a knock-on, or not straight. It is overcast and windy today, so keep that in mind for any kicks and lineouts that we're going to have. This is not the weather that we have had the previous matches. How do you see this wind affecting the offensive Blues? It looks like they're kicking into the wind.
Yeah,
Kim.
so maybe that's why they wanted to start playing out of the back at the beginning. But on those lineouts, they're probably going to want to look to hit just the first pod at the beginning and stay with that just to make sure that they're not losing the ball.
Yeah, it looked like a simple enough miscue there. I think the ball was more of an overthrow than anything the wind had to do with it, to be honest. So let's see if they can. We've had problems there all season, so let's see if we can nail those lineouts today.
Roberts rolling the ball in. First scrum. Blues getting stood up there. Great pressure by Old Glory. Jack Ascaro making his presence felt, and I believe his first starting match. I'm not sure about last week. A lot of confidence in Jack. As the Blues, again, not afraid to attack from anywhere on the field, and they earn a penalty. A mistake at the breakdown, not rolling away, I believe, is the call from Gavin. So it looks like that pressure, that attacking pressure is paying off at the beginning, Bree.
Yeah, that was a really nice scrum that Old Glory had for that first scrum. Really dominant there. Looks like that Ontario wants to play on the flanks and have some strong runners out there to try and keep calling those penalties and gaining territory.
It'll be interesting if we see that if Old Glory can maintain a little bit of dominance in the scrums. It looks like the Ontario guys, although this one done straight, they might want to be more of a line-out threat here today. It looks like they have some decent operators in the line-out. So another scrum right here with the Glory put in. I'll be expecting some good things here.
As they do have some height in that second row. Hank Stevenson and Charles Olton of Ontario.
You think this is a ball for Josh Brown here?
Let's see it. Josh Brown, the wing. You see Kinna standing behind Kunkel, drawing in the Blues wing as well. That weak side is completely open. Good pressure there in the scrum. Reed gets to Kunkel. Crash ball to Darien, the All-American.
Well done.
And earning another penalty. Not rolling away, so both teams not rolling away quick enough at the breakdown. Again, just feeling each other out there in the early stages, Roland.
Absolutely. It's good to get Darian had a great man of the match performance last week. So it's good to get him fed the ball early and often here today to hopefully soften up that midfield defense. It should also then lead to a few more options then further out wide.
As we got the replay here. See that crash ball to the inside. Let's see if we can see who the offender was.
Release.
Just not getting out of the way in time, so the turnover would have been clean for Ontario, but the man not rolling away. Mo Katz breaking off the side of the maul, not pushing too far, but still making some ground as Kunkel crashes the ball to Josh Brown. Brown is through, fighting for that line. Quick ball from Reed, gets it off to Iamir. Iamir, super athletic, wearing the America scrum cap. Very patriotic today. As the ball goes to Dante, is Dante right on the line. Another pick and drive by the forwards, keeping it in tight. I believe that's Jack. Jack trying to bag some meat. Iamir going over the ruck. He's on top of the line. What is the call? He's held up. So that was some constant pressure. Bree, walk me through that phase that got them to the line.
Right now, Old Glory is just winning the physicality game. You saw them just kind of bowl over, even in the play before with Darian Pickett coming in strong. They're just winning the point of contact right now, and that's how we're getting the meters. So if they can keep that up, then we're set up for a try very soon.
You see that Dante Lopresti there was trying to sneak over the line. Is he trying to be top try scorer this season?
I mean, yeah, he's got
a couple, right?
Represent for the front row. You know,
Yeah,
the backs try and take all the glory for themselves. No pun intended on that one.
Indeed.
So this one, I assume Josh Brown is gonna try and keep it in tight on this.
Well, I think the very first thing they're going to see is that they can get a nudge, right? If they can get the Ontario boys going backwards, they may well just try to push it over. If that doesn't happen, option B will be the 8-man pick off the back, and then the C option is always get it to the fly half and let the backs do something magnificent.
So normally, a team like Old Glory, they've been together for a couple months, I guess you could say. But the front row pairing here, Jack Ascaro and Dante Lopresti, were teammates actually in high school at Gonzaga High School, and it's fantastic that two high school players, have been able to maintain playing rugby for this long at this high level. And I mentioned earlier all that faith that's in Jack Ascaro from leadership here. They have national aspirations for him, and I believe he does as well.
The Blues did a great job right there of just spoiling that scrum.
Getting out to Darren Pickett again. Taking two men to bring him down. Old Glory driving over.
He's in West Potomac High School, local product.
Playing at Notre Dame, Grand Canyon University, I believe, a varsity program. It's amazing what happens when a team goes varsity. They produce great players.
I didn't even know Grand Canyon University existed.
Rugby has put them on the map.
Rugby put them on the map. Exactly.
Iamir trying to fight over. We've got Ryan Smith, or Tyler Barbary.
Tyler, yeah.
Jack Ascaro driving over. Right on the line. Can they put the ball down? No, they can't. Dakota Worth trying to get it. Almost over the line. Ontario, fantastic defense. Setting up their pillar and post, not letting Old Glory get too quick a drive.
Watch Josh Bowden in the back line, right beside Compo.
I believe we're right over the line. Is this held up again? Another held up ball. So, Bree, Ontario really throwing everything they have against Old Glory, who's just throwing their bodies in there.
You know, those picks started out really hot for Old Glory, but I think of maybe just a couple too many picks, right? I think our back line was all set up. I think that Michael Reed, maybe, he looked like he just wanted the forwards to take control of that, but maybe a couple phases less of that, we could have, exploited some more space there.
So Roland, they've tried the 8-man pick with Josh Brown. They tried the crash ball with Darian Pickett. They've gotten close. Do you see them trying that again, drawing that defense in, and potentially instead of picking and driving, maybe getting out to the danger man, Kinna?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but these are all great options. You're going to look at Nick Cole going around the corner there, so trying something crafty here perhaps.
Have to keep an eye on him.
It's all based on platform.
They're going for the push. They have advantage. Josh Brown finally picking it up. He's got to be over the line.
There it is.
And he touches it down.
Yes.
Try time. Bad. Josh Brown. It only took him 7 minutes to do it, and they finally dotted the ball down. Roland, walk me through that.
Well, let's go back to the previous scrum where they got stood up a little bit on the line, back on the opposite side. On this scrum, they were able to get their bind much better. They got that nudge on, and then all of a sudden, when you have that little bit of go forward, it was much easier option for Josh to really pick up the ball and just use his physicality and strength over the line.
Bree, take me to this replay.
So here you see that we're already getting a nice push off the left side, and it's just too easy for Josh Brown. I think, like Roland, you were saying, the mismatches here that we have, I mean, the scrums already look so much better improved than the last few games. If we keep exploiting Josh Brown and Darian Pickett at 12, I mean, his mismatch at the 12 is
going to be huge today.
Huge. They've got to keep exploiting that, and then once they keep using that, then we can get it out wide.
If our players realize where we have the mismatches now quickly, which I'm sure they will, we can also have backline players and flankers running off those strike runners, and that's where we should start seeing some points going off the board here.
It's never a fair matchup when you've got Josh Brown at 6'2", 245, challenging a wing at the try line as the kick is not good.
Also, the winger's going to be upset when he sees the video. He was way too high. So Josh basically just carried him over the line, as a fireman should, I might point out. So
5-0, Old Glory has the lead. Again, we mentioned earlier wind playing a factor. A lot of these tries that are scored out on the fringes are going to be very difficult to convert. And especially with this kickoff, the wind is blowing into the Blues' face. So let's see if they go deep, and they go low.
Shallow.
No chance there. Sage. Nice contest there at the breakdown. Old Glory, outside their 22, they're close to midfield. They see no incentive to get a clearing kick here. They'd like to attack. Darian Pickett spinning out of a tackle, making another man miss, barrel rolling forward, somersault. We're in gym class here. And a penalty. Is it not
releasing?
Yeah, not releasing, not wrapping in the tackle. When it's Darian Pickett, you got to try and get any advantage you can.
Also looked like a bit of a trip. So
again, you have to bring it down any way you can.
Yeah, we could have picked any infraction right there.
So cool. Trying to find touch, keeping it in, throwing a dummy pass, making Mo Katz miss. Getting tackled out of bounds. So Old Glory getting the line out. Well, no. They're saying that Old Glory touched the ball last.
It looked like it just went out of his hands right at the end.
So it's a pretty big mistake not finding touch on your own penalty. That's something that the Blues are going to try and make them pay for in the next couple of minutes.
Again, those are the lines between amateurism and professionalism that need to get rubbed out pretty quickly. In the professional game, not finding touch is a cardinal sin. So let's see if we can get the ball back here.
Almost stolen by Iamir. Good contest between him and Charles Olden. And Iamir ends up winning it. So they get the ball anyway. All is not lost. As Ascaro pops to Ryan Smith, a former Green Bay Packer. Kunkel out to Pickett. He fakes the pass, gets the one-handed offload to Kunkel. Stiff arms a man in the face. Says George Manukas, how you doing? Another nice pass and contact there. Ontario slowing the ball down. Reed to Iamir. Iamir spinning out. You've got to wrap those legs up. He is a monster of an athlete. Reed going that weak side. Mo Katz with the offload in contact. And that should be try time. Let's see, is it awarded? It is awarded. So Ryan Burrows starting at the wing, 11. That's where he was in the first match against Shannon. He was instrumental in that almost second half comeback. So Bree, walk me through the replay here.
I mean, that was just a good identification by Michael Reed there. Seeing the weak side, they only had 3 Blues players on the left side, and they were, at the beginning, looked like they had a little trouble exploiting it. But then, Mo Katz with a nice little run, that nice little offload, and that support by Ryan Burrows, and just the easy finish right there.
Looked like Mitch Vorlek, the inside center from Ontario, shot up in defense a little too quickly, allowing Mo Katz to find that gap, and that was the.
We're noticing there as well the slight delayed pass by John Sage to give initially took the defensive line out, which allowed Mo Katz to get the goal forward, and that was just a very, very simple inside ball outside ball onto Ryan Burrows, who's not going to stop from 3 meters.
Nick Cool again with the angled conversion, and he slots this one. He redeems himself, totally redeems himself. 12-0 is the score now. Look at Mo Katz.
What a great start for Old Glory. This is the team we came to see, right? They're doing everything the right way today. So clearing up the mistakes at the breakdown more or less, getting some platform ball, getting go forward, and then using their athletes.
It's one thing that we noticed a little bit against Shannon, but a lot against Scotland, as this kick goes straight out of bounds.
Right,
the mistakes won't stop for Ontario, but one thing we noticed with Old Glory in those first couple matches is that they would make a line break, and the support would be there, and they would attempt an offload, and it would just go to ground. They weren't exactly cohesive yet, and here you're seeing all of those kinks ironed out. Anytime there's support there, it's a one-handed offload in contact, and it's going to the man instead of ground.
And that just comes with more time with playing each other, right? So it's really good to see that it's reflecting with the boys.
I know that Coach Douglas has been doing a lot of work on the training field and in video study, so the proof is right here for us to see today. This looks like a completely different team today.
Collapsing on the far side. Old Glory is still electing to play with it.
It's at the base.
Reed. Out to the flying Hawaiian. Kinna goes into contact. Support was not there. And luckily, the attacker did not roll away, because that would have been a clean turnover. This Cool looks to find touch successfully this time, making no mistakes about it, just outside Ontario's 22. Looks like we're going to get a full line out here. So let's see. Kinna goes into contact. The tackler just making it a little bit difficult. You can see he took out Nick Cool in the clear out there, allowing his player to get his hands on the ball, and that was not legal, as judged by Gavin. So the lineouts haven't been too clean for Old Glory. They haven't taken one into hand and brought it down. It's the sort of platform they set up here. Great platform as Barbary goes up and high and gets it. Switch to Darian Pickett. Was that 3 or 4 Blues around him to bring him down, and it's turned over. The support wasn't there quick enough. That's the thing with a guy like Pickett. He breaks the line so quickly. Support might not have time to get there. Blues making him pay.
It was very well spotted by the big second row, and he was able to get his mitts on the ball quickly and just rip it out in the contact area there. Well played.
Slow ball here from Nate. Hank Stevenson takes it up. Probably the tallest man on the field. Dante blowing up the ruck. Steal coming, but not releasing the tackle. His knee was on the ground. So Dakota Worth should have let the man go. Said he did not recognize that the knee was on the ground. So that's not releasing.
I think the Ottawa guys are just desperate to get their hands on the ball and keep it for a minute or two here. They've had a very tough first 15 minutes, and hopefully they can settle down now and play some more phase play of rugby.
So great work by Dante to blow up that ruck, but as you can see, his knee's down right there, and he's still fighting for the ball. It's not something that Dakota Worth would have seen. You have to listen to the referee, but that was a split-second decision. You can't fault him for trying to steal the ball. That's what flanks do. So again, the line out not taken cleanly by either team, but Ontario collecting it and still managing to gain, 10 yards since we're here on the football field. First down. Nate on the recycle. That is a very large boy out there. Ethan Hager, if the jersey number is correct, but I can't guarantee it is. Another great job blowing up the ruck. This scrum half, Nate Roberts, is under a lot of duress on all of these recycles. Finally, the Blues look to swing it wide, find a gap. One-handed offload is there. Miguel takes the ball, eventually swallowed.
Looks like a steal.
Ooh, too early, I guess the man not rolling away. So that's been the story of a lot of attempts to poach. The tackler's not rolling away. It's making it a lot easier for that second man to come in and poach it.
Yeah, referee McCandless is on it. He's been doing a good job catching it every time, pretty much.
This will be the first time to the green zone for the Blues here. So we'll see what they do here. I mean, they were just able to expose the flanks with those two nice front runs by the centers, and then get that go forward by their wing here, and then get the penalty.
As you can see, that was a legitimate concern right there. That was not rolling away quick enough. The Blues, I believe the starting hooker is Daniel Cooper, but again, the jersey number is different. Again, not taken cleanly, a knock-on by Old Glory. Kind of a messy ball here. I'm not sure whose sloppy play benefits right here. Ihemir eventually saying, we're going to slow this down. We'll go back to the knock in that line out. So again, Bree, this wind is really altering either team's ability to have a stable platform in the line out.
Yeah, it seems like right now they're just trying to clean it up as much as they can. I mean, if I were them, I would start looking just to go front pod just so we can take it cleanly. Luckily, there hasn't been too much turnover yet. But see, we're going to go to the scrum here. The Ontario number 12, Vodalek, seems like he was kind of going back and forth. Wasn't sure really what to do. It seems like they were
confused.
A little bit lost in their system at the time. So let's see if they can reset here and start that up again.
Both teams probably happy to have a scrum and not another line out.
Well, I think that the Old Glory can be very, very happy with their defensive line speed so far. That first 15 minutes is the best defense they've played all season. So, again, the coaching staff clearly have been doing quite a bit of work with that, and the players too, obviously.
Well, as you mentioned, this is the first time for Ontario into the green zone. I don't think they would have elected to go weak there. I think they were forced to do that as Reed puts the pressure on. Miguel was slotting in behind the fly half, Nathan. But again, that ball was so sloppy, decisions had to be made. But they do maintain possession.
They actually got unlucky there that the ball bobbled. That scrum turning could have been an 8-man pick to pay dirt quite quickly. But
and we've seen that scrum turning all game so far, right? So I wonder if it's a matchup between Jack Ascaro and Jeff Wood. Maybe there's a mismatch there that they can exploit.
It's quite possible.
So the scrum half had his hands. Nate had his hands on the ball. And that was the outside center, John Sage, making him pay for that, as it's a slow ball again. Nate just now getting over. As we're getting set, we're tossing it to the bowling ball, and it's turned over. Michael Reed, one-handed offload to Josh Brown, out to Katz. Katz met at the line, but not being brought down. It takes more than that to bring an athlete like Mo to the ground. Quick recycle to Ihemir. Gets it out to Kunkel. And they're going to keep on going. Dakota Worth now stiff-arming someone. Taking a couple men to bring him down. Again, attacking that weak side. Kunkel making a man miss. A nice step there. Defensive line was up very quickly. Jack going through the ruck. Ontario not even contesting the ruck anymore. And it's spilled forward. That's an unfortunate turn of events.
It's Tyler Barbary.
And then that insult to injury, just bringing him down there. That was clearly unintentional, but grabbing the man by the shoulder and getting a high tackle. So it seems that after 2 quick scores, it's settled down a little bit. Both teams a little bit more evenly matched now in this past 5 minutes, as it looks like Ontario will have their second real attempt at having the ball inside Old Glory's territory.
Yeah, so far we haven't really seen any dangerous breaks from Ontario. I mean, in the last few minutes here, we haven't seen much from Old Glory just because they've been on the defensive stand the whole time. So if they can start creating more turnovers, then I think we'll see more danger from them.
I think the last 5 minutes, the Ontario team have had the ascendancy in that they've had the majority of the ball. They'll be happy with that. But again, the takeaway is that Old Glory's defensive line has been doing the business. It's been taking care of its set-piece work, and their line speed has been great. Their tackling has been very good. I don't remember too many missed tackles so far. And these are all very, very much positives that they can take away that they hadn't been doing for the previous few games. So so far, the start today has been first class.
As we have our mandatory water break at the 20-minute mark. Blues taking some time to recover and maybe review what hasn't been working out for them and what has been working for them. It seems when they have possession, they're able to continuously attack. And Bree, you mentioned they haven't had too many line breaks, but luckily for them, they've been able to force Old Glory into making some mistakes at the breakdown and earning their penalty. So Cuisine Solutions is proud to be the title sponsor of Old Glory DC and support the surrounding rugby community. Based in Sterling, Virginia, Cuisine Solutions provides high-quality sous vide cooked products to more than 22,000 restaurants, as well as first and business class on the top 10 airlines in the world, cruise ships, and major hotels. If you're here, stop by the Beer Garden to feel your inner beast with a signature sandwich, the Big Glory. Seize your glory. I actually had one for the first time. This is my third match here. I had my first Big Glory sandwich, and it was phenomenal.
Bree, have you had your Big Glory yet?
I haven't yet.
Oh.
I can see the look in your eyes. You're a little nervous. I was nervous when I first got it.
I'm in a booth full of backs.
And Ontario attacking here, not going to ground, popping the ball up.
That's a steal.
Nice play by Mitch there. So ball almost stolen, cleaned up and maintained. Driving forward. Ontario's still there, but no scrum half. Old Glory's been putting a lot of pressure there at the rucks, and Ontario is letting the ball sit there. They're opening themselves up to attack right there. Finally, the ball spins wide. Jeff Wood brought down, and he's by himself. Dante almost with the turnover, but Nate with the recycle regardless.
Again, we're seeing that quick line speed that you were talking about, Roland. And right now, I mean, Ontario is struggling to get any quick ball out of the rucks. I mean, they're having to commit so many people to the breakdown because Old Glory is just right there.
Here's one here.
And here's another turnover. Nate had his hands on it.
So much more aggression today.
Give some advantage for a knock-on by the 9 as Cool drops it right back. But the 9, Nate, putting his hands again on the ball. Mocats recognizing that the hands are on the ball and rightfully going across to doing what a front row should be doing at the breakdown. And here it is, Bree, if you want to let me through it.
Yeah, so, I mean, right here, again, Old Glory is just getting in there and causing pressure at the breakdown. And again, like you said, the number 9 here, Nate Roberts, making the mistake of putting his hands on too early in the ball. Mocats, great recognition by him to just go ahead and cause that pressure. And, if Ontario wants to get any go forward, they've got to get quick, clean ball out of the breakdown. And so they've got to get those men driving through the rucks quicker and faster, because otherwise they're not going to get any sort of ball to play with.
Old Glory are muddying the waters pretty nicely now, slowing it down when they get the opportunity.
A push here, but
penalty.
Wheeling in the scrum. So pushing early, I guess, and then wheeling it. So Old Glory getting the first penalty earned at the scrum.
Looks like referee McCandless has spotted what we spotted a little earlier with those scrums running around there. So clearly something's going on in the front row, and he says it's the Blues that are interfering here. So
here's the replay. So the ball is put in, but clearly real dare. I mean, making his point early of saying you make this mistake once, no need to give you a warning. It's early in the match.
It looks like
Correct
they're,
this
they're
now.
wheeling on the tight head and not on the hooker as well, which is the no-no there to get sort of technical.
Finally, a clean line out taken by Dakota off the top. Pickett spins it out. That went forward off the hand. So one of our first set pieces, that offensive pieces that we were about to see. But again, the timing just a little slow. But no reason to fret if you're Old Glory.
Not at all.
So here's the replay. Again, Dakota off the top, a clean line out. Kunkel gets it to Darren. Ontario biting in on him as Pickett has been that bowling ball through the center. So looking to exploit that width out wide. But I believe that was Cool, not able to.
I think Darian's decision was exactly right. He was drawing the pressure. He was able to get it off, but the pass just wasn't a good quality pass, unfortunately, and it went to ground.
A quick put in by Nate. Ontario not wasting any time in the scrum. Don't want to exacerbate any of their problems. So the ball gets spun out wide. Josh Bald takes it in. It's Charles Olton taking the ball forward. I wish we could see who this player is. I don't think we have a 26 on our roster.
But you see that he's finally getting to go forward when they give him that ball. That's going to be a tool that Ontario exploits a lot more because they were able to get quick ball from that breakdown seat, and that's what Ontario needs right now.
8-man here, a pick on the side, now a box kick. No one is home as Miguel elects to go for a foot race, drops the ball because there's no support there, trying to throw it to anyone he can. Eventually the ball goes out of bounds. So that was great recognition there by Nate Roberts and Miguel to team up on that box kick. But again, it happened too quickly. No one was with Miguel, so he put the ball down. So Bree, if you want to walk me through this replay.
As a scrum half, those are my favorite kind of attacking box kicks. He saw that no one was home. Great little bounce off the turf. Unfortunately, he had their wing ready to run, chase down that ball, but they didn't have anyone else on Ontario knowing that ball was going, so he had no support.
Great cover tackle by Nick Cole there, who was at the ruck also and had to make his way all the way back to make that tackle, covering the winger.
As we have a quick line out here, taken forward by Darian.
Does he ever take a backward step?
Yeah, not passing the ball that time. Oh, that's a big mistake right there, taking his eye off the ball. Cool, not getting the clearance kick, and again,
penalty.
More insult to injury here. Getting called for holding the ball in. So, you drop the ball like that. Ontario takes it quickly, they tap it. They don't want to go for points, they don't want to go for a scrum. They want to attack quickly, trying to make Old Glory pay. We got Emerson Pryor attacking that weak side, getting close to the line. Forwards keeping it in. I believe that's Jeff Wood. It's Nate recycles. Charles getting driven back.
Very good.
Nate with the recycle. Out to the 10. Nate to Nathan. Ball spun out wide to Miguel. Hits his leg, but still dropped forward.
And that's the second time that we've seen Ontario have those two front runners and then the distributor right in the back. And as you see, both times it's worked very well, just unlucky. A little bit of a poor execution at the very end with that pass. But that's how they're going to go ahead and beat Old Glory.
Just sort of running a sort of pretty simple over-under line there, going out the back door, 12 to 11. And for a split second there, I thought that they had opened the door. They just couldn't make get the ball over the line. Was it Mo Katz that made that cover tackle, I think?
Yeah, I think the offload would have gone to him, but Mo Katz hitting him in the back, jarring that ball loose. So, great job by Old Glory to withstand this pressure. Unfortunate for the Blues to have gone quickly there. I think the coach would have chosen something different had he been able to communicate with his players. But the die was cast, and here we are with an Old Glory scrum at about their 5 meter.
They've had the momentum, though. I don't disagree with the decision to take the quick tap there. They were, it's still 12-0. They were looking to get right back into the game immediately. You could have taken your 3 points, but I think it being an exhibition season and what have you, it's good that we see some more running rugby.
Reed with the roll in. Moving slightly this time. As they toss the ball to Kinna. trying to give them some relief. Josh Brown, ball is hit right out of his hands. Now it is overcast, the ball is probably wet, as you've seen a couple people spilling the ball forward when they go into contact. But the first knock-on, let's see if we can see who the first knock-on was by. So Josh Brown joining the ruck, deciding he's going to take it. I don't know, that looked like it was off Ontario Blues player's head.
Yeah, they got lucky there. You could tell that Michael Reed was really wanting his forwards to set up a nice pocket for him so he could box kick and get ready to exit out of the 22 there. Looked a little bit slow on the recognition, but luckily have a scrum to reset that.
So not much has changed in the past minute. Another scrum, just different location. And great pressure by the 9, Nate, as Reed still maintains the possession. Tries to offload it to Pickett after making a break, but it is taken by the 13, and he doesn't need support at all. Josh Bald, going from about, you'd say the 30-yard line, we're on the football field, racing around several Old Glory players and dotting the ball down on his own. That was a fantastic solo effort by Josh Bald, and something that Ontario desperately needed to stay in this match.
It looked like the ball got stuck there out of the scrum because the Old Glory scrum half had to take the ball himself and then tried to do a couple offloads, and that's when it got stolen. And then you see the 13 here, Josh Ball, just take it. He's got that mismatch all day against the prop here and just take it home.
Yeah. Iron Vine, the connected world is a safer place for Old Glory fans thanks to Iron Vine Security. Iron Vine provides cutting-edge cybersecurity solutions for enterprises across the US and around the world with experience in over 30 countries. At Iron Vine, we are driven by purpose to solve the toughest security challenges so you can stay at the top of your game.
That kick could use some Iron Vine.
Sure could.
As it is not good, so 12-5 is the score. And so in broken play like that, Old Glory went from playing offense, trying to run supporting lines. When it's turned over like that, it takes a little bit of time for them to get flat. So there were some very obvious gaps there that Bald was able to exploit to put them on
He will
on
be
top.
seeing that all night tonight because anytime you see a prop on the wing, it's paid.
You're going to take
You
it.
just start salivating immediately.
It's a deep kick by Old Glory.
Poor Dante Lopresti he got left out to dry there a little bit.
Mitch Vorlek getting stuck. Old Glory making a nuisance of the breakdown here. And again, Ontario willing to attack at any part of the field. Ball spits out there, and he
Lopresti.
tosses it right to Dante. I mean, if the guy's that big in front of you, you might as well give him the ball. You don't want to get tackled, and that looks like what was going on. Reed gets it out to Iamir, falling forward. But support was there in time. That turnover is good. And we'll have a clearing kick by Ontario. So the pressure is not done by Old Glory, but the support just not there at the breakdown.
Yeah, now we're seeing pressure on both sides, right? Old Glory was really contesting them at the breakdown, and Ontario having a hard time getting quick ball out. It looked like they went. You can see here, Old Glory ball squirts out here. They're not able to secure that ball, and Dante Lopresti says, "Thank you very much. I'll take that ball." On that next phase there, when we got that carry, unfortunately, Old Glory.
It looked like the Blues winger that got in there for the poach on Dante also, which is it's a rare thing to see.
So we haven't had a maul yet. I wonder if that's what we'll see here. Nope, off the top to Reed. We're going to give it to Josh Brown in the middle. Give Pickett a break from crashing the ball on that area of the field. Josh Brown very eager and happy to have that. As Old Glory continues to go out wide, the pass was not timed well enough right there, so knock on against Old Glory. Credit to the effort, though, attacking that weak side, knowing that they had a gap there in the defense. You got to wonder if we'll see a clearing kick or if Ontario will still feel comfortable attacking from any part of the field. We've got about 8 minutes left in this first half. Score remains 12-5. Mo Katz, rarely does he get put on the ground, but when you're tackling the number 8, that's a big man, Matt Fish. Mo Katz, that doesn't happen very often to him. His teammates will be happy to remind him of that. Nice physical contest there by Darian Pickett. getting mixed in with the forwards, but he's big enough to do that. Nice one-handed offload by the prop there, Jeff Wood. Nate with the recycle. Good bit of attacking here. Hank Stevenson makes a break. Ontario attacking from inside their 22, now finally breaking into Old Glory territory as we have number 26, the elusive no-name player. We'll just call him the Juggernaut, I guess. So Ontario not getting brought down on any first tackle. They seem to be making every man, except for right there, finally Ryan Smith, former Green Bay Packer, going in there. Nate getting brought down. Ball does spill forward. So that was a great set of phases there, taking Ontario from in their own territory to almost Old Glory's 22. But Bree, again, just not able to put the finishing touches on it.
Yeah, just not able to quite execute. And I think a lot of that really is because Nate Roberts, the Ontario scrum half, had trouble getting the ball out quick. And it wasn't necessarily pressure on the breakdown. It was just he was having a hard time getting to each ruck quickly and delivering quick ball. You saw him get a little tired, and then at the end try and do a little bit too much, causing that knock-on.
Yeah, Old Glory's done a fantastic job at the breakdown of messing the ball up for Nate, and he's been harassed all day. He is getting no break, Roland, in any breakdown.
Well, it's quite a bit of the Old Glory guys are sort of like bend but don't break defense. They've given up a little bit of territory, but they've always been able to realign quickly and get back at it. I'd like to see them doing a little bit better in transition from offense to defense because the ball is moving a lot right now. So that's why I think Mo Katz got caught out on the sideline last time.
I think there was a missed knock-on in there by Reed as that scrum started to get pushed back. It looks like it's continuously wheeling on the same spot. Just wasn't egregious enough to earn a penalty there. But it seems to be something that Ontario's definitely targeting as Jack tries to fight his way for just a couple inches. Out to Kunkel. Crash ball to Katz. Makes two men miss, steps back inside. He's finally brought down. Good work by him. Iamir setting himself up for that front pod. Breaking a tackle. I love watching Iamir run. Reed searching for the ball. Getting it out to Dante. Getting that second line. Darian doesn't want to get brought down. They're going to have to commit more men to him to bring him down than just one. As Jack Ascari takes it forward. He's hit low. Ball spits out for Reed. Kunkel gets it. Out to Ryan Smith. Quick recycles here. See, this is what Ontario wishes they could do as Kunkel finally makes the men miss. Some dancing shoes in there. Is he supporting his weight in the breakdown? Ryan Smith pops the ball back out to Cool.
Gavin McCandless is letting the boys play a little bit.
Always happy to let the boys play.
I thought for sure George Manukas had that poach there. He had really good body position, but like you said, he's letting the boys play.
So I don't know how that ball slipped out and went that direction. That's not how gravity works,
Starting to
based
get
on what I've seen.
Get a little bit slippery out there, so a little bit of mishandling now.
So if you like the way Old Glory looks, you can get all your Old Glory merch at oldglorydc.com. You can also get tickets and team information there for next season's MLR, the third season of Major League Rugby when they join. But oldglorydc.com, check it out. Familiarize yourself with this team, the players, because it's your team. This is America's capital.
Best jerseys in the league also.
They do have the best jerseys in the league. So is someone receiving attention? Is it number 7?
Looks like it was Manukas, probably from that clean out at the very end. Just needed a second after three guys came in.
We'll give him a
at the end.
second.
Yeah, we'll give him a second.
Yeah.
About 3 minutes left here in this first half.
This is flowing. This has been fun.
It has been fun. This has been back and forth rugby. Again, 12-5 is the score. It was 12-0. Old Glory went up, ran up 2 quick tries in the first, let's say, 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. It took a little bit of time for Ontario to respond, but they have. And they've been able to shut the gate on Old Glory. They haven't had too many attacking opportunities inside their 22 in too long of a time. As Nate Roberts will get us restarted with an Ontario scrum.
Good scrum.
And they will go weak. Matt Fish back to Nate. Nate is taken down. No scrum half, so Fish will have to do his best acting job. Charles Olton taking it in, but there is a turnover. Not sure how it happened, but it did. That's all that matters. Old Glory not wasting any time. Out to Mo Katz. Gets the offload. Out to Kinna. Stepping back inside. Intelligence there to avoid the sideline. As another recycle comes to Dante. Shoves a man off. Takes 2 more to bring him down.
Good
and he's
work.
still not down. He heard me talking. He corrected me. Kunkel. This is Jack Ascaro with a great running line right off the inside shoulder of Kunkel. Nice recycle here. Getting a nice quick ball out to Cool.
Well played.
Out to the side. Ryan Burrows, already 1 try to his name. Out to Josh Brown. Nice pop there to Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith is happy to be back in rugby. But Ontario is there. Perfect timing at that breakdown to secure that turnover. And now they're on attack as Mitch Vorlek kicks downfield. Pressure is on Cool. That kick stays in, taken by Nate. Will he take it himself? And he will, but he is isolated. Let's see if Iamir can get that penalty. And instead, he's called for not releasing. It's unfortunate there. Letting the pressure off. As you've got 2 players taking some time. Jack Ascaro.
Unfortunately, Ryan Smith got his body position just a little bit wrong there and allowed the Blues player to get over him. Just getting that ball away from his body a little sooner would have been able to deal with that problem quickly and then get rid of the threat. Instead, it was a turnover.
So Ontario will have some of their best possession of the day since their first and only try. Let's see if they can make this count as we're ticking off the seconds into halftime. Can they come within 2 or possibly even the score before half? No lifts on the line out. Miscommunication there.
Oh,
Ryan Smith eyeing up the wing right there, putting him down. Now Ontario's lost a considerable amount of ground there. Ball is very slow. That's one thing that Old Glory has done a fantastic job of, not letting Ontario get any quick ball. They've been making them pay at the breakdown. Let's see if Nate can get the ball out quickly now to Nathan. Good one-on-one tackle by Sage. Now again, the entire Old Glory defensive line is set. Bit of a sloppy pass out there. Not much for Ontario to work with. That was a nice charging run by Hank Stevenson.
Again, creating slow ball. That's what they need. That's what good job by Ryan Smith right there.
You know, and Ontario had a great attacking position, but they elected to kick because they're not getting any go-forward ball. And you're right, it's just all from that breakdown.
Well done.
So Ontario had a perfect chance to draw even with Old Glory, but they were just not able to do so.
And that'll take us to halftime now. We want to thank Leidos. Professional rugby has finally come to the district, and Leidos is a proud supporter of Old Glory DC. At Leidos, we use IT, engineering, and science to make the world safer, healthier, and more efficient, so we can all enjoy the game we love. Choose Leidos, and let's solve something important. Now let's go Old Glory.
And we will have a quick break, but stay tuned for highlights and a breakdown of the first half. Welcome back to Cardinal Stadium at Catholic University. I am Preston Thompson, joined by Stanislas Vilgrain of Cuisine Solutions. Before you say anything, I have to let you know I've been eating your food every match. And it is absolutely fantastic. I am blown away by how good it is. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
So, how did you get hooked up with Old Glory DC? How did this come about? Do you have a rugby background, or?
Yes, I've been playing rugby in my youth in France when I was in school and university, and I arrived in Denver in 1984, and I kept playing rugby in Denver, then San Francisco, then I arrived in Washington in 1987, and that's when I started playing rugby from 1987 on. And then in 2007, right after the World Cup, we decided to put a team together, Roosters, which is an old boys team, and we've been playing ever since. So at 60 years old, I still play.
It's a game that, as much as you try and give it up, you can't.
You just can't.
It is the most addicting thing in the world.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing better than that.
So it just makes sense for Cuisine Solutions to sponsor, the only rugby team or the only professional rugby team in DC.
Yes, first of all, I'm a big fan of the sport, not only for the sport but also for its values. And I think it's an extraordinary sport for business and for developing young people into entrepreneurs and business people and incredible good adults. Because it's a combat sport, it's a team combat sport, and you don't have many like that. So for me, it's an extraordinary sport for developing the right attitude in business and a wonderful team spirit in a company.
So obviously rugby is fantastic, but tell us about Cuisine Solutions. I already said I love it. It's fantastic. So tell us about the company. Did you start it?
I started the company in 1990, and it's developing very well in the US. We have a plant in France, 4 plants in the US, and a plant in Thailand. And we manufacture vacuum-packed, vacuum-cooked food that you can taste here, and I'm sure you've already done it.
I am, yes.
And it's a wonderful technology for the food of the future.
Well, if you want to have a plant down in Atlanta where I'm from, no one would complain. We'd love to have your feet down there.
Okay,
Thank you for joining us, Stanislav. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we'll go right back to commercial, but don't leave. We have one more interview before we get into highlights and a breakdown of the first half.
Through local sponsorships, Tradeview Markets is committed to helping the sport of rugby grow. Investing in local amateur rugby teams around the world allows Tradeview to make a positive impact in the team's community and provide support where it is really needed, rather than advertising with professional teams that don't need the money. Rugby has played a huge role in Tradeview's phenomenal success. Many of our staff play or coach rugby, and we recognize the positive influence the sport has had in their life. This is our way of giving back to the sport. Our goal is to put a Try Tradeview logo on every top local rugby team jersey in the world.
No, go ahead. Put them on. See if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
All right, so I am Preston Thompson again, joined by Brent Duckworth of Ironvine Security. Thank you for joining me, Brent.
Thanks for having me.
So, why does it make sense for Ironvine to sponsor Old Glory DC?
Well, rugby is a huge part of our culture. So, Ironvine was founded by 3 partners: myself, Bill Geimer, and Jason Figley. Jason is a rugby guy, played 30 years out of Mason. He also played for Nova Rugby, and just been part of our community for a long time.
So, playing for those teams, you're not just playing rugby. You're playing high-level rugby as well. Correct.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, but rugby just in general, it produces great individuals. So the culture that they instill in the players, the teamwork, dedication, that translates to our work that we do. And so, having that name recognition for us in this community is really good. And this extends, our sponsorship of Old Glory extends our sponsorship of Nova Rugby, which we started in 2012, and just happy to be part of that.
And it's fantastic. You mentioned being players, but also sponsoring. You did your part as a player to lift rugby in the region up. Now you're doing your part as a sponsor of the professional team here to really grow the sport in this region. I mean, that is something that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. Old Glory came to us with a vision for growing rugby, at the youth level, all the way up to the professional men's and women's, and we're excited to be sort of part of that at the ground level. And it's a unique opportunity that you might get only once in a lifetime.
So tell us about Iron Vine Security in general. We've talked enough about rugby. So what is it that Iron Vine does, and what can you offer people?
So Iron Vine Security is a cybersecurity company. We've been around for about 11 years, and we provide cybersecurity solutions for government as well as commercial companies, and we just help them.
Good spot to be in if you're doing government work.
Yeah, perfect, right? And so really hot right now. So we're busy, and we're having a lot of fun. So
tell us about this atmosphere here. What does it mean to have Iron Vine's name on something? This is just an exhibition season, but the tailgate section is packed. The stands are packed. It's sprinkling here, and we still have a sold-out crowd. So what does it mean to have your name tied to this atmosphere?
It's incredible. I mean, you look around here, and everybody, almost everywhere you look, you see our logo. People are talking about us. The fans have been incredible for all 4 matches. They've been packing the stands, and halftime events are fun, and people are excited, and it's a great atmosphere.
Well, I have to thank you personally for doing what you do, not just for cybersecurity reasons, but sponsorship reasons, for really growing the game. You're doing something that's fantastic. So thank you for joining me, Brent.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Chris.
All right, we'll go right back to commercial, and we'll come back for highlights and breakdown of the first half.
What these guys have done for us, for our country, is something that could never be paid back, something that us as civilians could only appreciate and respect.
I mean, there's some hard stories in there, so they're all great guys. You wish they were still here today with you, but you understand, duty calls, they served a mission, and there's tragedy and everything, and a lot of them died in war, others died when they came back home, and there's a lot of suffering and pain involved, but you try to bring the good out in every situation, and this is our way of doing it.
My dad loved rugby, played it in college and played it in the Marine Corps.
Rugby was a big part of his life. It was a big thing that he enjoyed. It was a way to bond with others and to kind of release stress when he was in the Marine Corps. And John unfortunately died by suicide in 2005. Returned from a deployment in Iraq and really was struggling with depression and post-traumatic stress, and didn't get the help he needed, and died 3 months after he returned.
He did get to play. We were supposed to play, and he, first Marine killed in Afghanistan, and sometimes I wonder if it was my fault. I know I gotta be better. And I've been in the slump. I've had some hard times, and my daughter passed away 3 years ago, and it just all steamrolled. And then I finally got back around rugby again, and I got in touch with these guys, and I knew at that moment I had to, because I gotta fix myself for him and for her.
So, it's been 11 years since his death, and one of the things that I've really tried to do is to find things that my boys would be a part of that connected them to their dad.
Well, I'm just honored to play with these Marines, and really just try to live live like my dad would want me to, and I think he would just be he would love to see me out here, and I wish he was out here with us. I know if he knew about this after he retired or got out or had the time, I know he would be right up here with us. So just trying to carry on the legacy, and I love playing rugby too. So play with these guys and kind of just play for my dad, play for all these other fallen Marine rugby players.
The importance of veterans and supporting them. I mean, they say freedom's not free, so it comes with a cost, an expensive one. So we hope that America likes what we're doing.
Old Glory is taking the field again as they lead Ontario Blues 12-5. We had a fantastic first half. Bree, what did you make of Old Glory's early offensive bouts and putting up 12 points on the board?
Well, Preston, it started out really dominant, right? Really physical, and that's what Old Glory came out here to do. They were aggressive and very quick from the get-go. That's going to be the key to winning the second half. They started to, maybe not fatigue, but just kind of die down in that level of intensity they had at the get-go. Ontario started to get a little bit more ball and just take advantage of those turnover opportunities. So Old Glory's got to come back and keep doing the same thing they did in those first 20 minutes.
Exactly. I think in the first half, I think both coaches will be relatively satisfied. For the second half, I think the mantra is going to be almost the same from both head coaches. Get more depth, get your hands on the ball, let your strike runners do some work, feed off that, just make the offloads if they're there. Don't try to force anything. Just keep possession, wear the other team down, and then take your opportunities. But none of this will happen unless the platform is correct and they get a little bit deeper in their back line.
So one thing that Old Glory will look to continue to do, as y'all mentioned, is get that quick ball at every breakdown. The ball seems to be going within a second of the ball being presented. And one thing that Ontario is going to have to change is the fact that their ball is coming out so slow. They're going to have to find a way to counter Old Glory's nuisance ringing at the breakdown and really slowing that down. So
really good today at doing that. They've had one or two guys that are very aggressive at the breakdown when the opportunity presents itself. And it's not necessarily for a turnover, but as you say, just slow that ball down. Doing a great job.
And we're starting the second half now as Ontario kicks it deep. I believe that's Sage running with the ball. Old Glory giving the Blues a little bit of their own medicine, not kicking it right off the bat. Finally getting some space here. Kunkel searches, but that ball is touched, so everyone's onside. Who will get the bounce?
Katz.
Mo Katz will get the bounce. He is everywhere. Such an athlete out there in the field. Now Reed with the box kick, realizing that there is a man back there, but support is lacking. Some quick passing there from Ontario, and they've swung the ball wide, and now they're attacking the other side of the field. Nice defense there by Dakota Worth to come over and shut down that attack on the weak side. Now slow ball here. Hank, very powerful runner for Ontario all day and earning a penalty. A quick take by Nate, wanted to go again. Old Glory doing a good job of not giving up another penalty, getting back 10 before they made any tackle. I guess not releasing is that call, so 2 quick penalties in a row. Really put Old Glory on the back foot, Roland.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that penalty call. I think the tackle was still being made. It was a little bit of a quick whistle there by referee McCandless, but it is what it is, and it looks like we're going to have our first kick penalty.
So I believe, even though he's wearing 11, I believe this is Nathan Boyanga. So here, let's take a look at this penalty. So I guess you could say he did not release as he went down, but as we're waiting for this penalty, Bree, you and the Nova women's team were out there being honored for your national championship. So talk to us about that as we're waiting for this penalty kick. About the season. I know you want to be humble. This is not a time to be humble.
Oh, don't worry.
Give us your thoughts.
We're still reveling in the moment. Right?
Yeah.
It's only been a week. Still on that high. It's been awesome.
Not much sleep the past couple of days, I assume.
Yeah,
good. How it should be.
The season was awesome. I mean, we just kept working, put our nose to the grind, and I mean, came out with a very tough game at the very end. We pulled out those points, and able to celebrate now.
So the Austin Valkyries, they were a legitimate threat all season. Everybody's known about them for a while. Very athletic. You get to play them in the final, but in your semi-final match, you have the old rival, the Raleigh girls. You're down 3 tries in the first half. How do you come back and put an absolute huge score on in that game?
Raleigh, we've had a long rivalry with them. We know exactly what they're going to do. They know exactly what we're going to do. And being 3 tries down, I mean, they had one dangerous threat that we were looking to defend, and he was able to score every single time. And so we finally said, hey, we got to start playing our game.
Yeah.
And once we wrapped that up and started playing our own system, we were just fine, winning that game 51-26.
So can we just call you MVP now instead of Bree? Would that be okay?
I don't know
Because you're the real MVP.
Yeah, she's never going to stop you from complimenting me, as no one should. You should always take the compliments.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we have more breaks. But to catch everyone up, the kick was very short, and it was taken by Mo Katz. And on his counterattack, he did put the ball down to try and get back up with it. It's a nice trick. If you don't have support there with you, you can pick the ball back up and run with it. But the ball did go forward. So a scrum, an attacking opportunity for the Blues, has led to this, another turnover, as Iamir
Looked like Ryan
not
Burrows
wanting
got his
to get
hands
brought
in
down
there and was able to get that turnover, and now Glory got the ball back again.
And so Dante on the attack now.
Interesting kick there. It looked like he took his eyes right at the fullback because the ball went straight to him. Not really looking for any space right there.
Nate finally getting some quick ball out for the Blues as Michael Reed is down. Can't tell if he's holding his shoulder or ribs. So Old Glory playing a man down. A fantastic steal there.
Cool.
Ball knocked out by Ontario, so knocked forward.
Nothing happening from that, so going to go back to the original advantage and probably get some injury time here.
Yeah, we may see Sean Hartig take the field here. It looks like Reed is not doing very well.
So Reed has played professionally before, San Francisco Rush in the ill-fated Pro League, which we won't talk too much about. He's been all over the U.S. He was born in South Africa, but he's been playing here in the States for quite some time. And he's had a nice exhibition series, but yes, it looks like he's going straight off. He's not even going to attempt to stay on. As Sean Hartig, who started...
Oh, Oisin O'Neill coming on also.
Yes, Oisin O'Neill is coming on for Mo Katz as well. So 2 subs coming on. One injury induced. The other one might just be an impact sub, but Oisin is excited to be making an impact off the bench today.
I missed what happened to Reed, but it looked like some sort of hard hit there or maybe a bad fall.
That's why scrum halves don't tackle,
Well, I also want to compliment Mo Katz. He had a great half of rugby there,
Agreed.
so that definitely wasn't for anything that he did necessarily.
And the ball is stolen in the scrum. That was a very clean steal against the head. As 21 makes Darian Pickett miss, makes a couple men miss. He's going to run in almost untouched. If the number is correct, that is 21 Andrew Wilson. So now it is 12-10. This conversion should be very easy to convert, going to 12-12. So, stolen scrum. What happened, Bree?
I mean, it looks like they just got, they say every time when you turn over a ball, you want to get it 2 away from trouble, right? And then they were Ontario was able to just quickly get into a good alignment there and then just spot the gap, and he was just home free.
So it's something that Ontario wasn't able to do in the first half, get that ball, like you said, away from trouble, spinning it quickly, and look what happens when they do.
Absolutely. They have threats in that back line, clearly. They're going to be a little bit disappointed with that. And again, it came from the scrum that was not properly dealt with. And, they're able to, they have very fast, strong ball carriers. They were able to get through the midfield area there, and it was an easy score in the end.
And the conversion was good. So we are all locked up at 12-12. So both teams putting up 12 unanswered points. Old Glory going first, Blues second.
Now running the pitch for Ontario.
And we have a sub coming on for Ontario. Mitch Vorlek coming off the field. And I was not able to see the number that came on. Apologies to his family. And we're back. A deep restart. Wind in their backs. So Ontario will use that to their advantage. Hartig back here takes it cleanly. Over to Cool now. It looks like Darian Pickett is on the far side, walking off the field as well.
Nick Cool.
Nick Cool is not concerned with that man going down, though, as he finds a gap and exploits that weakness. Kinna trying to make some men miss. No support there at the breakdown. This is a messy ruck, helping the Blues, and they earn the penalty. So Cool finding the gap deep into Ontario territory. Ball getting spun out wide to Kinna, but support not there. Ontario able to do what Old Glory was doing in the first half, and that's really blow up that ruck.
looks like, Ontario's creating a lot more pressure, throwing more people into the counter ruck, which they can afford to do, and Old Glory just hasn't adjusted for that yet. And so, the 9, Sean Hardig, got to the ruck a little bit too late, and by that time the ball was already spun out and pressure got to them.
As we have more substitutes coming on the field. However, if you would like to look like a substitute with Old Glory DC, go to oldglorydc.com. Visit for tickets, schedule, and team information. You can see how to get involved with Old Glory and support the squad. America's capital. Get behind your team. Go to oldglorydc.com. So like Darian Pickett, inside center, that All-American, high school All-American, leaving the field. So we'll see which team substitutes can get the upper hand. And not a malicious high tackle there, but when you're a tall guy tackling a short guy, sometimes that's just how those pieces fit together.
Yeah, that's Guy Lopresti. He's just come on. So the second Lopresti brother, the first Lopresti brother if you're his mother.
And a huge, huge mistake by Ontario. That's about the same area that Old Glory missed their touch finder on a penalty earlier. But this one, that went out the back, correct? So this is going to come all the way back.
Yeah, poor mistake there. I think he's just trying to bang it deep so that he's getting his guys some more territory. But, just really shanked it right there.
So here comes the penalty as Guy tries to go in and
just like you said there, Preston, just unfortunately Guy goes low at the last second and there's nothing you can do about that.
That was our first high tackle that we've seen today. I mean, it has been a well-disciplined game. Even though this is a cross-border rivalry, it's been all friendly, nothing off the ball, and it's been nice to see. But Old Glory getting a nice push there. I believe that's Selmi Niimatuwalu coming in at 10. With Pickett off, I wonder
Kunkel,
if Kunkel has gone on to one of the center positions. So Selby here, a nice pass. Believed to Cool, breaking through the line. Iamir, ball goes to ground, but it does go backwards, cleaned up by Josh Brown. Hardig again to Selby, to Ryan Smith. Played at Fenwick High School, rugby and football star. Selby again getting that quick ball out to Kunkel. Now Kinna tossing the ball into the Blues player's hands. Again, a wet ball out there. It's getting a little bit wetter out here. And another penalty. All right. And Gavin is saying he's going to stop time. This is the first time we've had this. He's calling over Josh, the captain. Wonder if he's going to talk to him about Kinna not rolling away fast enough.
This was the first time as well where I've seen Old Glory are starting to get their formation. They're looking to play a 1-3-3-1 formation, and I could see Dakota Worth out here on the tram lines. So they were clearly trying to get themselves organized a little better with that go forward that they just had from Nick Cool. I think with this formation, you're going to see a lot more of the hooker being on the sidelines as being one of the forwards. So let's have a look and see if we see more of that formation going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's how Mocat's got a lot of success too, because we saw him doing the same exact thing.
Very much so. We saw him a lot on the sidelines today doing really good work.
So neither team has really found an advantage in the lineout. We haven't seen one maul all day. And again, this one goes over, but it is taken by the Blues. This ball just not going to hand as easily as either team would like. This is very slippery. Nate on this recycle. Good job on the defense to press up there. Nice inside pop. Again, the Blues, although they've scored 12 points, they haven't had too many long line breaks. They did have that one counterattack from broken play. And this replay is brought to you by Cuisine Solutions, that fantastic sous vide food that we will not stop talking about. And as you can see, this ball is just so slippery, neither team really getting a hand on it. I was lucky enough to talk to Stanislas Vilgrain of Cuisine Solutions about their story, and he's actually a rugby player. He grew up in France. He's played all over there, all over America. We're just talking about how much sense it makes for a rugby guy to sponsor the team in the area that he lives in. And him and Brent Duckworth of Ironvine Solutions that I spoke with at halftime are rugby guys, and they're happy to be able to make an imprint on the rugby community here. And that is the front row of Old Glory going off. So Jack Iscari and Dante Lopresti exiting the field. I'd say they can be happy with their work in the scrum. What do y'all think?
Very much so. They've had a good 50 minutes. Played very well. Both of them had shining moments. It's going to be a big one. It looks like is that Barelka that's in there? I think it is.
Yes, I believe it's Cameron Barelka.
Yeah. So he's going to have a good opportunity here to show what he can do as well.
Cullen Barelka.
Cullen Barelka, yeah. Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think the shoes that he'll have to fill, especially with Lopresti coming off, is making sure that he can get those big, strong carries, those go-forward carries and loose play, because that was something that Lopresti did a great job this game doing.
So the scrum going backward just a little bit there, but Old Glory able to clean it up.
Well, there's a crazy Irishman in the middle, getting stuck into things.
Tries to go it alone, but Old Glory maintaining the ball. Selby out to Iamir. Defense coming up quickly, but just rolling off Iamir, not able to bring him down. That should be a penalty right there. Only our second stoppage. So finally things getting just a little chippy. Got some players down. But again, I don't think we'll see a card. I think that was just miscommunication in the breakdown. The player thought he probably had rights to the ball, but he did not. Let's see, we can get a replay, see if we can figure out what the call is. So that first man falling off of Iamir.
He's been doing great meters.
Looked like he lost his feet there.
Yeah, right off the bat, it looked like he wasn't supporting his weight. But I wonder if this touch judge is going to give us some more information as to what transpired.
It's interesting, as that play was unfolding, Old Glory's playing in their own 40 here. We haven't seen a lot of the kick game, and you could see that Ontario knows that, and both their wings were flat up, just trying to help with that defense.
Great point.
Wonder if that's something that the new back line, with the changes to the back line, wonder if that's something they'll start exploiting, or if that's something that Ontario will just continue to do to help with their defense up front.
All right, so Gavin talking to Captain Josh Brown and O'Neill, the replacement hooker.
Yep, crazy Irishman.
Crazy Irishman. So just a talking to. And so now the ball will be Ontario's ball.
I think they'll try and go for points here.
I would.
So it was a short kick last time. They are a little bit closer, but it looks like the fly half is walking up, and they're going to go for the corner. No, they are going to go for posts.
Smart decision.
So again, although he's wearing 11, I think that is the fly half. And I am...
Nate Boyonga.
Yes.
Or Nathan.
Nathan. We have the scrum half Nate.
Yes.
This is the number 10, Nathan. Nate and Nathan. Best of friends, I'm assuming. So this will be, if this is good, this will give the Blues their first lead of the match. And 53 minutes have gone off. This crowd looks on. Hats off to the crowd here. Tailgate section is still full. We still have people in the beer garden in the family-friendly area. Despite the weather not being the best, they are here supporting Old Glory. And the kick is good, 15-12. 54 minutes gone. And this gives Ontario their first lead of the match.
All right, and once again, we'd like to recognize Iron Vine. The connected world is a safer place for Old Glory fans. Thanks to Iron Vine Security. Iron Vine provides cutting-edge cybersecurity solutions for enterprises across the U.S. and around the world with experience in over 30 countries. At Iron Vine, we are driven by purpose to solve the toughest security challenges so you can stay at the top of your game.
Again, I was lucky enough to speak with Brent Duckworth at halftime. And he's extremely excited to be a part of Old Glory and helping grow the game that we all love. As DC is playing some tough defense now. For the first time, they are behind.
It's been all Ontario in this half. They've been getting their hands on the ball a lot more.
They spilled it forward, but not a knock-on, says the referee. So Blues get it back. attack continues. Sage bringing the man down.
Well, I think
That looks like that's Khaled Williams over the ball.
I think part of why they're having so much more possession too is because they're getting a lot more quick ball. If you notice, Old Glory hasn't really committed as many players in the breakdown, just like we were talking about in the first half. But
So nice
great pressure
defense there. It leads to the turnover by Old Glory. Ball a little too quick for Ontario. Not used to it getting out that quickly, but fantastic turnover. Let's see if Old Glory can make the Blues pay. Josh Brown looking for an offload, not able to find it. Hardig with the recycle. Nice
Great
forward
tip-off.
interplay
Very nice.
there. Nice pop-off pass. There's another quick ball. Selby, Khalid. Sage goes into contact, gets the offload to the replacement fly half Selby. He gets the ball off to Ryan Smith. Some great connections here by Old Glory, but that was not a good connection. Now let's see if that goes to play man without the ball. We'll see what the call is. You can make the argument he was looking like he was about to pick it up, but it's decision time. So again, we had a fantastic connections between Old Glory here, but the ball not able to go to the right man. Looked like he was running a dummy line, did not expect the ball.
That's
And
fine
there
in
it
my
is.
book. I mean, the ball is right there. He's kicking it. I think that's fair. I don't think there's any penalty there.
And Gavin agrees, and we'll have a Blues line out. Let's see if they do what you mentioned, Bree, going with that front pod, trying to keep things simple. We've seen any successful line out, it's gone off the top. And actually, this will be an Old Glory line out. Played a fast one on us. This one, again, not taken cleanly.
Glory ball.
But it still goes Old Glory's way. Selby cleaning it up on his own. Quick ball out to Kunkel. Now it's to Cool. Makes a man miss. Gives a nice dummy pass. Gets some extra ground. Support is there to drive over. Good job by Burrows. Nice connection there by Ayamir and Khalid.
Huge gap right there. Too slow of a ball to get out, though.
Let's see if Old Glory can do something with it. But Josh Brown says, I'll make my own gap. Hardig, quick recycle to Selby. A nice tap pass. Unfortunately, trying to do too much right there as Kenna cannot take the one-handed
That
pass
was a great
from
tip on
Dakota.
because I thought that ball was getting intercepted by Ontario.
Absolutely.
They were waiting for it.
Did a great job with that.
And here is the replay.
See, they just send that pass and the wing, bit in, tried to get that ball in all tackle, and unfortunately just didn't quite go to hands.
It looked like John Sage tried to shoulder it far through.
Yeah.
That was pretty nifty little bit of skill.
So this was the Old Glory that we were not seeing in the first half. They were making those connections when it mattered, and a little bit of tiredness coming through, showing fatigue.
And changes with the subs, too. Just having, different players on the field changes a lot with the timing of the runs.
And Hank drops that one forward, except for we have an offsides call.
Looks like an offsides, yes. Crowd doesn't like it.
Yeah, crowd does not like that. Again, this crowd, hats off to them for showing up today. It is not the best weather.
Gavin getting a nice reaction there from the crowd.
Not the first time Gavin's gotten a reaction.
Sure.
Here comes the kick. It's coming right at us. And it is caught.
Hey.
Give him a jersey. Send him out there. He is celebrating. Monumental occasion for him. All right, we are almost exactly at midfield. I think Kunkel is also coming off.
Yeah, it's John Davis coming on.
John Davis, number
on the other
23.
side of the field, almost exactly midfield, we saw that line out go to the front pod, which was good because, like you said, both teams have been having trouble with the second pod throw all game. But the problem is, I think both teams also know that they're going to go to the front pod, and so the other pod is just defending really well and able to get in their way. So it looks like we're taking the mandatory water break here.
It's that heat. It's getting to the players.
Yes, this wind and this rain.
Don't want anyone cramping.
Professional rugby has finally come to the district, and Lidos is a proud sponsor of Old Glory DC. At Lidos, we use IT, engineering, and science to make the world safer, healthier, and more efficient, so we can all enjoy the game we love. Choose Lidos and let's solve something important. Now let's go, Old Glory.
So if you're Old Glory right now, what did you just talk about in that team huddle to get your team going again?
I feel like you have to find that magic that you had in the first half that led to that initial 12 points.
Yeah,
every player was on point. The communication was there. And the connections were there.
I'd love to see more carries from Josh Brown. I think as soon as Arian Pickett went off, you stopped seeing the really hard go-forward carries, and that's what really led to some of their success in the first half.
I also think a little bit of composure would go a long way right now. They are getting the go-forward. They are getting their hands on the ball over the last few minutes. They just need to make those right decisions. Just a few calmer heads might carry the day here.
Owen Lovato, replacement hooker coming in, and that is a beautiful steal by Old Glory, number 17. And Dakota Worth making a break now. And a penalty to Old Glory. Hardig takes it quickly. That is not 10 by Ontario, but fantastic moves there by Hardig. With the line out going the way it was, you can't fault him for going quickly.
So that was Guy Lopresti with the steal.
Josh Brown, where you mentioned getting him more carries. This is his specialty. He needs to get the ball right here. I believe that's Guy. Hardig out to Khaled. Khaled running right at the man. 3 guys on him. Hardig again.
Owen. Pushing.
Another break. Recycle here.
Oh, John Davis.
See a gap. John Davis saw something he liked. Hardig again. This one goes out to O'Sheen. Mere feet from the line. Khaled Williams, he wants a crack at it. He drops the ball forward. He had try-line fever. Reached the ball out. Now, 21 tackled out of bounds. I don't know if they got the advantage off of that knock.
It didn't look like a knock. It actually looked like the ball just went backwards. It's really unfortunate there. We just talked about composure, right? And I think they did a good job of kind of setting up that platform. And unfortunately, just carrying the ball too high in contact and losing it when that defender tried to make that tackle.
So it looks like that ball did go backwards.
Just knocked out of the hands there. Really unfortunate. You could tell he's pissed now, and hopefully he comes back and can make up for that.
Yes.
But I think it's been a tactic that the Blues have been employing today, is they're really going for that ball in contact. Several times I've seen hands going on ball in the contact area to either strip, slow down, and then late roll away. It's definitely a good ploy.
Iamir, front pod, finally taken cleanly, and we get our first maul of the day. I know every forward watching has been dying to see their first maul, and it took us 60 minutes. Even as a back, I can appreciate the power that goes into that. And we finally get it out to Josh Brown, who powers forward.
Wrong carry there.
Men are falling off of him. No one willing to step up as tribute and be the sacrifice on that one. As Khaled, he wants redemption.
There it is.
And Khaled Williams finds redemption.
Well
you can keep him out one time, but you cannot keep him out twice. That was a beautiful try set up by Josh Brown. Well, really set up by Iamir, taking that ball cleanly from the line out.
Well, really set up by Bree, because she just called it.
Yes.
You're right. They heard me loud and clear, because that's exactly what they did. Great line out, just really quick and easy. Got a little bit of a drive there, and then as soon as it slowed down, got that ball out and just had a really nice carry by Josh Brown. And then you could see Williams just saying, "Give me that ball, let me make up for what I did."
You could feel it, guys, right? The pressure was mounting for the last several minutes. They already had the ball on the line once, spilled it, got it right back there, said, "We're not being denied the second time."
You can see, obviously, Williams identified that there was the 8-man, but also the replacement scrum half possibly. And
yeah, I think Hardig.
Who are you going to run at?
I think Hardig probably could have. There was no D1 at that ruck. He probably could have snuck in there for the try. But something I want to say about him, as a scrum half, noticing their tendencies, he's doing a good job of, again, trying to keep that composure and stay controlled, even when they're right there with the try-line fever, just controlling their forwards and going back to the weak side and taking advantage of that. Looks like the kick is good.
Very
The
good.
kick is good. You know what else is good? Cuisine Solutions. And they're proud to be the title sponsor for Old Glory DC. And they're really doing a great job of supporting the rugby community in this area. They're based in Sterling, Virginia, and they provide high-quality sous vide cooked products to more than 22,000 restaurants, as well as first and business class on the top 10 airlines in the world, cruise ships, and major hotels. If you are here, you need to go get some of that food while you can.
It's amazing.
It is fantastic. So the score is 19-15. Old Glory back on top.
Oh, John
Massive
Sage.
collision there. Sage saying, I should be a forward. Going in there, showing the power. O'Sheen O'Neill
That's how you do it, son.
barreling forward there. Saying it's not just you that can hit hard. And a fake
Well done,
kick.
Cool.
That was a nice job by Cool. And that just continuously gets the Blues off their footing. They're on the back foot now. No reason to kick. Continuously pressure them as Ryan Smith shoves a man to the ground. He drives forward. Williams there, providing much needed support. This is a fantastic break. Oh, now that might be early contact.
Did you see what I saw?
Now, we'll have a discussion on the sideline. But before we get to that, that was exactly what we've wanted Old Glory to do. They're drawing the men inside, forward runner, and then spinning it wide. And you get it out to Cool. I believe that was Cool out there
Yes, it was.
on that far sideline. All right, so as we have the replay.
We had a fabulous dummy to begin with. Then Nick gets the ball again. This is his second time he's got the ball in this break. Back through. Okay, it looked like the winger for the Ontario just about got there at the same time. I'm not going to call that anything.
So something you noticed on the defense there, it looked like 17 on Ontario really shot up on defense, and that is what led to Mo Katz, his try assist to Burrows in the first half. That defense kind of just missing that connection. But to their point, on that one we talked about earlier where it looked like they were going to intercept the pass, it's paid off for them sometimes, but a situation like that, it's not always the best move.
Yeah, and I think, it's really hard to try and get in those lanes, but I think especially as you're running as that support runner, you're trying to vector in towards your ball carrier, you can be a little bit more physical with that guy that's also battling for that channel too, right?
Ooh, that's high.
Another high tackle.
Gavin's playing the advantage here.
Let's see if Ontario does anything with it if they're just... Oh, they will. Line out will be secondary for them.
This is a poach, could be. Yeah.
Yep, so they'll go back to the penalty.
Yeah. Poach was good, though. Well done, Dakota.
Yep, that was just unfortunate. Again, not malicious by Burrows, but just unfortunate. You need to get low in the tackles. That's what this game of rugby is about. As we have that replay here. He read it perfectly. He just didn't get low enough.
Looks like the Blues outside center's got some cramp.
Again, it's that terrible heat that we've got here in DC today. But that was Miguel on that take that received the high tackle. He was the danger man. He almost scored on that box kick down into the corner.
He's been lively today. This has been a great contest. Even game. We've been looking for this all season. We're seeing signs of growth from the Glory boys. I mean, there's an awful lot. Win or lose or draw this game, there's a massive amount of great takeaways from today.
And 13, the outside center, Josh Bald, will leave the field. I would... And waiting for confirmation on who the replacement is. We'll see if the jersey number matches up. Looks like that's 18, Aaron Summerholder. As we have about 15 minutes left in this match. Again, shout out to the crowd for showing up. And I can see that they're all wearing Old Glory gear. And they did that by going to oldglorydc.com. They get information on tickets, schedule, and just general team information. You can check out this team that you're supporting in the DC area.
That's
As that was a nice searching kick, but taken nicely by Burrows. Blues trying to find some sleeping men there on the DC side, but wide awake and able to take that ball.
That was an interesting choice to kind of poke that kick in, but when you're a right-sided kicker and you're trying to go back to the left side, it's really, really hard unless you got your hips turned the right way to make sure that ball goes exactly where you want it to.
And Burrows made a couple men's hips miss there as we have a turnover by the Blues. Support was not there quick enough with Burrows. Hank
dropped it.
Second time he's dropped the ball on just a straight-up pass like that. He's just getting ahead of himself. He's had some dangerous runs. He's put some men on their backs as we have the replay. So the turnover was clean. Nate trying to get it out to his forward. And Iamir and Cullen doing a great job of distracting him. He looked up clearly to see who was running at him about to tackle him, and that was just enough to make him drop the ball and give the ball back to Old Glory.
And it's the same thing we've been seeing all game, right? This line speed of Old Glory is really what's defining this defense, and it's just causing mistakes, especially as Ontario starts to wear on in this game, starts to get fatigued. You're going to see more of that.
We're also starting to see Old Glory start to just take the ascendancy again. It feels like the momentum has shifted just a little bit. The Old Glory heads are up after that last score. The Ontario boys are starting to feel it a little bit out there. This is, the pace of the game. It's been a little bit faster here in the second half, and we'll see who wears down the first.
Hardick with the roll in. Selby to the substitute. Out to Kinna. Kinna finally stretching his legs. Hasn't made too many breaks today. Back out to Selby and Josh Brown. Josh Brown must have caffeine running through his veins. He looks just as energetic as he did in the opening minutes.
In the process there.
Hopefully he's not like Samson and that's not the source of his strength. But he will get that back quickly. Burrows dodging an ankle tackle. Hardig on the recycle. Iamir finding that second line. Nice searching run by Adams.
That's John Davis.
John Davis. Knocked forward by Selby.
Good identification of the dog leg that Ontario had. Had a couple guys on the outside coming up, not the same speed as their inside runners. Spotted that gap, but again, just the little things right at the very end is preventing Old Glory from actually getting any more points up on the board.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to run their system as well. They had that extra forward out there, but again, just didn't go to hand.
Blues breathing a sigh of relief. It looked like there was an extra man advantage out there on the wing. Possibly Selby got ahead of himself trying to make the pass before he had the ball. Clean scrum for Nate. Ontario kicking a lot the second half, something that they didn't do a whole lot.
Oh no, all the way.
Now this ball is rolling out the back.
Gone.
The second time that's happened for the Blues. So again, they had the wind. They have the wind at their backs now, and that's possibly why they're kicking a lot more than they were in the first half. But again, not measuring it correctly and getting it out of bounds. Well, they got out of bounds, just in the worst way possible.
Yeah, it looked like a nice deep kick, but again, you got to look for the sidelines there, and that's a big mistake as we go all the way back to their defending 22. Let's see if Old Glory can get something good out of this. It's again great territory for them.
The connected world is a safer place for Old Glory fans thanks to Iron Vine Security. Iron Vine provides cutting-edge cybersecurity solutions for enterprises across the U.S. and around the world. With experience in over 30 countries, at Iron Vine we are driven by purpose to solve the toughest security challenges so you can stay in the top of your game. And they are definitely helping Old Glory stay at the top of their game.
They are.
As we have this nice searching run by Cool as he's brought down. Hardig recycling to Khalid. Falling forward. Nice support there in the ruck. Selby finding O'Neill. He's taken immediately. Nice defensive line speed there from the Blues. Nice pods here. Nice dummy by Hardig.
Oh,
Hardig finds the support. Lepresti eventually taken down. Now we've got a wide pass out here. And we've got a try to John Sage in the corner. So fantastic pressure by Old Glory, swinging it from sideline to sideline. And they finally find Sage in the corner. He looks like he had a man outside him, but he didn't need it. He actually made a man miss.
I'm usually not a big proponent of the skip pass, but that was the exact time when to use it. John Davis just put a pass here, whoop, all the way across, right into Sage's hands. Easy finish. Wonderful work.
Great cutout pass there, and that was started from Hardig, and at the 9 position. As you can see, Ontario's starting to pull away from the counter rucks here, and so. when you're pulling away from those counter rucks, they start pulling away from the D1 position. Harding spotted that gap and just said, all right, let me go ahead and take that. Took it a couple meters and then offloaded, and that's how they got that go forward. So
Sean
really good
Hartig has been
recognition.
having a really good few minutes here. He's when he's come in the second half, he's made when Ontario had their backs turned, he did a quick tap and go and made easy 20 meters, and now he's also taken in this opportunity as well for the second score.
Looks like we just saw the John Sage fan section right there.
Yeah.
With their big heads. It's awesome.
That was just a fantastic skip pass. That looked like it went over 2 different players, and that completely switched the channel of attack. I mean, he was almost in this 5-meter channel when he received that.
Great vision. It's great vision.
And I think now you see the momentum turn. I mean, there's only 8 minutes left on the scoreboard, and now it's more than a 2-possession game here. So kick went just wide. We want to go ahead and thank Leidos again. Professional rugby has finally come to the district, and Leidos is a proud supporter of Old Glory DC. At Leidos, we use IT, engineering, and science to make the world safer, healthier, and more efficient so we can all enjoy the game we love. Choose Leidos, and let's solve something important. Now let's go, Old Glory.
Old Glory solving a lot of problems out there in these last 10 minutes, taking the lead back and extending it to 24-15. We'll have to see how the Blues respond to getting punched in the mouth. And again, Old Glory is reeling back for another knockout blow. Great connections there. Guy stepping in at scrum half, Josh Brown, taking down, nice chest pass there.
Wonderful rugby.
Fantastic support play, except for that does eventually go forward. Now slow ball here for Ontario. They're in no hurry at the moment, even though we've got less than 7 minutes left in this 9-point match. Blues staying on that weak side.
Ontario slow on that support there.
And we have a knock on. I did not see where it originated from. I guess on the original turnover, possibly.
I think we missed that there, but if you know, I think Old Glory's going to want to make sure that they're just staying out of the rucks, and you know, it's a 2-possession game right now, so let's build that line speed again, right? We don't necessarily need to win possession back, but as long as we're staving them on defense and able to come up really fast, just like they've been doing all game, then they're going to be able to prevent them from scoring and be in the game.
Something that you want to see right now, even though it's Ontario's put in, Khaled Williams is running up to the spot, the mark, ushering his team on. You can see the energy on inside of him, coming off the bench, really wanting to make his presence felt.
And it's the little things, it's the body language, right? That not only gets your teammates amped up, but it also, Ontario's looking at that and they're saying, hey, they're ready to go. We got to make sure that we're on our game too.
Look at this Old Glory backline getting ready to fire. And they're away.
Darting up. Got that second line, but Kinna there, initial contact.
I feel the same way.
Nice
great read
defensive line there. O'Neill shooting up, but he shot up a little too early. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you get a little too greedy.
A little too eager. Unfortunately now this gives Ontario an easy shot at hitting touch. So if this kick finds touch, it's great territory for them.
Good touch finder.
Another line out goes right over the top, cleaned up by Khaled. Is eventually swung down. Hartig, quick ball. Borelka.
Oh, great hands, Borelka.
Kind of by himself. Luckily, support is there quickly. Selby looking for that switch pass, or skipped pass, rather. Coming back inside his burrows. Nice work by him and Cool to avoid that sideline. Hartig quickly there again.
It's McElway, Mason McElway, isn't it?
Yes, finally making an appearance here. Selby again. Another skip pass out to O'Neill.
Hooker on the wing. That's the system.
Gets that beautiful pop to Kinna. Kinna, you're not going to touch him on the sideline like that. The Flying Hawaiian, the Maui Monster, the man from Hawaii, putting the finishing touches on this match. This is blown wide open. This is now Old Glory's match. almost impossible. I won't say impossible, but very unlikely that they're going to lose as we're getting this replay set up. But that was just fantastic support and vision there from O'Sheen to get that ball off from the ground, it looked like, into the supporting player's hands.
Well, he was definitely out there for a reason. We can guarantee that. Their hooker is being out there, so from this line out,
just got overthrown there.
just a simple overthrow. Now, again, great go forward, though, sets them up nicely. Davis out there to O'Neill, takes out 2 defenders, pops it up. Keena coming through, beats the winger, stone dead, and it's a sprint to the line, and you're not beating him.
It's something, as a scrum half, when you're out there in the wing and you tackle that hooker, you think your job's done. You tackle the hooker, right?
Yeah.
But no, not O'Neill. He's someone who's able to get that one-handed offload. People don't realize watching it how difficult that is to have that balance and just kind of pop it up there seamlessly or perfectly for that oncoming support player.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, they were immediately, just right from the get-go, as soon as they turned that ball over from the line out, it was just, hey, let's play fast. And again, I think they were really exposing him on the weak side. The last couple tries that Old Glory has scored, all they've done is gone back to the weak side. So really just put in the stamp on this exhibition season here and on this game.
So as Old Glory is putting the finishing touches on this match, we're about to put the finishing touches on our meal with Cuisine Solutions. They have some of the best prepackaged sous vide cuisine that you can get, and they are the title sponsor of Old Glory DC, and they're really doing their best to help rugby grow in this area.
Well, these are going to be some of the best fed rugby players in the nation if sous vide are providing the food, because it is first class. Definitely had myself another Old Glory sandwich today. I'm ashamed to admit it. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not, yeah. I'm happy to do that.
All game I've been struggling with going back from the monitor to the field, and when we plugged the video earlier, I was staring at the monitor and really kicking myself because I was smelling the food and seeing it, and now I'm just going to go over there afterwards and grab a bite myself.
That's okay, Bree.
Taste that sandwich that I haven't had yet.
MVPs eat for free, Bree.
Just wish I had made that decision earlier,
Well, that's on you.
Yeah, you're right. Learn from these decisions.
So we've got about a minute left in this match. Old Glory's ball.
A minute left in our season.
A minute left, in this exhibition season. Old Glory not wanting to end it just yet. They're still on the attack. Selby out to Sage. Sage is tackled as he's putting the ball down. And number 21 runs out of bounds, unaware that the yellow was actually the sideline. So about 30 seconds left. So again, as we're coming to a close on this exhibition season, this is only the beginning of Old Glory DC's Major League Rugby campaign as they enter the league in Season 3 next year. Go to oldglorydc.com for schedule information, tickets, get some merch, get some information about this team so you can get behind them, oldglorydc.com, and support them as they go into Major League Rugby for 2020. Speaking of, we've actually got the playoffs today for Major League Rugby Season 2.
Correct.
Really looking forward to those.
Absolutely. First game is at 5 o'clock kickoff, so pretty soon, actually. So let's watch this one first.
Now let's see if Old Glory can put an exclamation point on this match, or if the Blues will walk away with the consolation prize. Right now, it's looking like consolation prize to Blues.
Bit of a silly one there from Sage, just falling on the player, but it happens all the time.
Now, you don't have to quick tap that penalty. You should have time, even though we are over the 80-minute mark. If it's a penalty, you should have time for a line out. I wonder if he's aware, and it doesn't matter in the end.
That's your game.
As we have our final score of Old Glory's inaugural exhibition match. Final score is 29-15.
Well done.
This has been a back and forth affair, but the majority of the match, Old Glory was in control. So I'll shoot it to Bree first. Give me your final thoughts, and I'll toss it over to you, Roland.
I mean, I was really impressed with how well they came together, after the last 3 games and going back and fixing what they needed to work on. They were physical and dominant from the beginning, and they were able to spot the weaknesses of Ontario and go back to that weak side that they were exploiting very successfully. And I think that's, Coach Douglas is going to have a lot to take away from this game, and he's going to have some hard selections to make.
Growth from week 1 through week 4, we've seen this team grow in all all the good ways. The very first week it looked like they were lost out there. Second week, you know, they did better things. They were still working on set piece. Today was the day. Everybody knew this was the litmus test. This was be the one where we didn't know if we would win or lose. And the boys came together, put together an excellent game plan, stuck to it, rocked like demons, put their set piece together, scored some excellent tries, and got a very, very convincing win against a good team. We can only be delighted with the end of that season.
Yeah, Old Glory will be ecstatic with how this exhibition season ended, considering especially how it began. And they were able to shut down the Blues on any advantage that they were able to find. And Old Glory giving the lead up in the second half, not giving up. They know what it's like to be losing a match and come back from under pressure, and they did exactly just that. It was 15-12, final score of 29-15. So hats off to the Old Glory boys, and hats off to the crowd for showing up, rain or shine. This was a raucous atmosphere from the tailgate section to the beer garden to the stands. This was a fantastic spectacle. Anyone who's watching this, who's an owner, a coach, or a player of another major league team should be worried when Old Glory DC enters in Season 3.
Absolutely, and thank you to all the Canadians for coming down this weekend as well. I mean, they gave it was a great match. It was a great match from start to finish. We're going to go into the close season now. There's going to be a lot of question marks. Who stays, who goes? As you said, the coaching staff are going to have a lot of questions to ask and fill all these different voids. But lots of players put their hands up today.
Before we sign off, man of the match, both of you. Put you under pressure.
Oh man, I think, I mean, from the forward for me would be Mo Katz. His work rate was phenomenal. And then in the backs, I think Darian Pickett did an amazing job of getting go forward ball. So can't pick one. But
he did. I agree. I think Chris Kunkel had a very good game today, and also I think Aymir in the second row was around the ball a lot.
He was reminiscent of Maro Itoje a little bit.
Yeah, a little
wasn't
bit.
he?
Yeah, and he kind of has that body type. It's very true. Yeah. So I think there was lots of guys that we could have said were the man of the match today, but we only have one real MVP.
And as we have the Gatorade pour.
Oh, the first
on
of
the
many,
coach.
hopefully.
Nice.
It's great weather.
Hopefully he gets used to that. Man of the match, though, I'm going to have to say Josh Brown.
There you go.
He just had a monster of a match. But thank you for joining us on Next Level Rugby and for watching and supporting Old Glory DC here at Cardinal Stadium at Catholic University. I'm Preston Thompson, joined with Roland Pratt and Bree Kim. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next year in Major League Rugby Season 3.
Bye-bye.